Good morning, day 240, cooking down the refrigerator, freezer, and working pantry meals. So this morning it's a cool 57 degrees, very pleasant. It's supposed to be up to 80 today, also very pleasant. And sunny. So anyway, it's going to be hopefully a lovely day. I plan on doing a little bit more decluttering. I have to deal with trying to get the manufacturer to pay for return shipping on my defunct chair. So now they want to see a picture. So I have to take the whole chair out of the box and put it back together and show them that it's broken. And my idea is they'll probably just try to send me a new arm. So we'll see. Anyway, I really wanted to like the chair, but it was very, very cheaply made. And if I remember the seller, I'll let you know. So don't buy the chair. But anyway, so I have a bunch of cleaning up to do. My kitchen's a mess again. Still going to work on my dining room table and my whole dining room, actually. The lady that's buying my dishes couldn't make it yesterday. Big surprise. She seems very nice, and she seemed very concerned that I didn't think she wanted to blow me off. But we'll see. So I'm supposed to meet her today, same time, same place. So we'll see. The saga of the Christmas dishes continues. And the saga of my chairs continues. Oh my gosh, I'm stuck in a loop. Anyway, you ever feel like that? Like you're stuck in a loop? Yep, I'm stuck in a loop. What was it, The Matrix, where they kept, he kept going, those guys kept coming? I think it was. I like Keanu Reeves. I think he makes a lot of really nice, interesting films. So anyway, I'm not sure what I'm having for breakfast this morning. I have several choices. I have a cucumber from my garden that I want to eat today, and I have tomatoes, and I have a couple more that are ripe out there. So as long as I get cucumbers and tomatoes, I'm a happy camper. So far this year, I got one little miserable zucchini. It was tasty, but I don't have luck with that either because there's no pollinators back there. So we'll see what happens after the tree comes down. That's another loop I'm in. The garden and the tree, the garden and the tree. Oh dear. Well, anyway, I'm going to enjoy my coffee and ponder on my loop and how I can get out of it. And I'll be back in a little bit with breakfast. Hello, good morning. Cheers. I thought I'd talk to you again while I was having coffee. So I've been sitting here thinking about being stuck in a loop. And I'm sure we've all been there, where you just keep going round and round with the same issues. I've actually found journals of mine that I had tucked away somewhere, and I read some of it, and it's like, oh my God, that's still going on. Just a different form of it. So sometimes when you're stuck in a loop, you can't see the forest for the trees. It's like the definition of insanity. If you keep doing what you're doing, you keep getting what you got. I think that's how the saying goes. So anyway, I was thinking, how can I resolve this situation? Well, part of the problem is money. Okay, if I had a lot of money or more money than what I have, I could pay a lot of people to help me out and do these things. Like, I can't cut down my tree, so I do have to pay somebody for that, but it's like an emergency situation, so I just have to come up with the money, whether that's borrowing it or putting it on a credit card, which is what I'm going to do. But, you know, I really don't like to do that, but sometimes you have to do what you have to do. So, another thing that you might want to think about doing if you're stuck in a loop is asking advice from a friend that doesn't have your loop problem. I'm sure they have their own loop problem. But, you know, asking the advice of a friend that seems to have not the same issues, so maybe they can give you some good advice on what to do different. So that might be a good thing. Writing things down and maybe marking the steps of what to take to get out of the loop. Like, okay, here are the loops I'm stuck in. Obviously, small loops. You know, we all have small loops. The Christmas dishes, I could give them to charity and then they'd be gone. All right. My chairs, I could just get rid of them and not worry about where they're going, if they're going to a landfill or, you know, a charity or whatever. Just not worry about it and do that. But I'm kind of concerned about the environment too, and I don't like to put too much garbage out in the environment if I can help it. So that kind of leaves me stuck in the loop too. Another loop I get stuck in, and I hate this one, but I could remedy it myself, is saving glass jars. I have a plethora of glass jars, just in case. You know, I do use them, not all of them though, so, you know, but I hate saving glass jars. I hate taking the labels off and then all the goo still sticks on the glass jar. But I hate to waste, you know, a good glass jar. So let me think, what other loop am I in? So we've got the chairs, we've got the dishes, and these are all things I've done to myself. You know, I can't blame anybody but myself. Let me think about this. Okay, another loop that I'm stuck in is the declutter loop. I keep going around and around and around. Now, it's not something that I can snap my fingers and it'll resolve. I mean, unless I get really tough with myself and just get rid of, I'd say, half of what I have. But there again, you know, I want to be environmentally conscientious. And here's another loop. Hello, I like this loop. Yes, I like this loop. Anyway, I like to be environmentally conscientious about what I do with my stuff that I overindulged in. So if I had a lot of money, I could just pay somebody to come in and say, okay, this is the stuff I have. I want room for this stuff. Build me a cupboard or build me a new kitchen where I can store all this stuff and get to it easily so that I use it. But everything that I do, almost everything, has to be a DIY. And in order to do that, I mean, I love to watch like YouTube channels where, you know, even women my age or a little younger, they get out their saws and their this and their that, and they create everything. Well, I don't have the physical ability to do that anymore. When I was younger, I did. Heck, when I was younger, I laid flooring, I repaired the ceramic tile and the drywall on the bathtub that was leaking behind the bathtub. I put up a Z-brick wall in the kitchen. I did all kinds of DIY stuff, and I really enjoyed it. But I can't do that anymore. I wish I could. So when you don't have the money, you have to DIY everything or just let it go. And I don't like to let things go because then it piles up even more, one thing on top of the other, on top of the other. And then you have a bigger mess than what you had to begin with. So I don't know. I'm trying to think what other loop I'm in. So decluttering for me is a big loop because I keep looping around my house. I just keep looping and looping and looping, which is fine. I'd rather go slow and steady than not at all. But I don't have it in me to do the Marie Kondo and just get rid of everything. I mean, for me, once I start decluttering a room, the room itself becomes cluttered because I have to pull everything out. And then it takes me days, literally days, to get it all back and decide what I'm going to do with it. And then there's the problem of, I have a small car, so I can't put a lot in there to take it to the charity. So I have to wait for the charity to come around and pick it up. So it's like, what do you do with the stuff in the meantime? So a lot of times I wait until just a day or two before they come, and then I declutter like crazy. But I can't really get in there and get to the meat of the clutter by doing that. You know, you almost have to pull everything out. So again, if I had the money, I would hire somebody, maybe an organizer or something like that. Now, my stuff, for the most part, is organized. I mean, I have a couple of cupboards in the kitchen where I just have too much stuff for the cupboard. So that I need to remedy. But, you know, there again, it's DIY versus hiring somebody to help you. So cleaning is another loop. You know, I mean, I would love to have a cleaner house. Now, my house isn't like cockroach infested or infested with mice or bugs or anything like that, but my dogs create a lot of dirt. They create a lot of hair. They create a lot of, you know, mud and stuff that they drag in, but that's part of having a dog. But if I had the money, I could hire a cleaning lady, you know, just to come in once a week or once every 2 weeks and just do the stuff. I can do the basics, you know, keep the floor clean and, you know, do a little Swiffer here and there, but like, you know, cleaning the windows and cleaning in between the windowsills and doing some of the stuff that I never get to. So it really is a struggle sometimes, especially as you're getting older, to find the help you need because you don't have the money. A lot of us don't, especially older single women that maybe have gone through a divorce and maybe they were housewives most of their lives, or they had a job but it wasn't the breadwinning job, and then they lose their partner, whether the partner dies or you get divorced, and that whole part of the income is gone. So you're kind of out there on your own, and you have to make do and do the best you can with what you have to work with. So, for instance, with me, when I was married to Tom, the plan was, I didn't have my dogs then. I had one little dog and a cat at that time, and that was fine. But when I was married to him, our plan was, you know, we would, he paid some of the utility bills and things like that, and my house is paid for. It's been paid for a long time. But that was me that did that. When I had a good job, I paid my house off. But anyway, that was our plan, and our plan was to become snowbirds and go to Florida or somewhere warm every year in the winter for a couple months. Well, anyway, I'm not going to get into the details of it. That didn't work out, and he got his own place. We sort of stayed friends, and then we started kind of dating again, and then but the financial, I had to take over, of course, paying my own utilities, and so my money was stretched way further than it was with the original plan that we had made. So, he never supported me. I had my own money, he had his own money, but just helping or having somebody to help pay for the bills. I wasn't going to say, hey, you can live here for free. So he had his financial responsibility and I had mine. But anyway, we're not together anymore. So now we have, I have my own house and life, and that's when I got the dogs. After I got divorced from him, I always wanted to rescue dogs. So I rescued the 3 dogs. So after that, it's a long saga. When we started dating again, it was like, well, I can't go for 2 months now, and take off. What do we do with the dogs? And I wasn't about to get rid of my dogs. So anyway, long story short, it's difficult for a lot of us older women to financially float the boat and have extra money to do all these things that need to be done. And it's just difficult. It's a struggle. And I know there are a lot of us out there that have the same issue. So anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit about being stuck in the loop. For me, like I said, it's a lot of decluttering is a big loop for me, which is fine. I really don't mind that very much. It's just taking so long. I wish I could do it faster. It's taking forever for me to do that. And then the cleaning is a big loop for me because I always had a very clean house. And I don't anymore. It's not up to my standards. Let me put it that way. And then the cooking thing. This loop that I'm in, which I'm actually enjoying, is cooking down the refrigerator, freezer, and working pantry meals. But that's a loop I'm in too, and I could actually stay in that loop for quite a while, which is a good thing with the prices of groceries nowadays. So anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about, and it got me thinking about the loop. What are some of the loops you're in? Leave me a comment below because I'd really like to know, and maybe some of us share the same history or the same loop or, whatever. And we can get some ideas off each other, like, Ellen, you're in this loop, why don't you do this? Or why don't you do that? We can help each other with some ideas. Now, that doesn't mean we're all going to take every bit of advice, but at least it's food for thought. All right, well, I'll be back later with some breakfast. I'll go into the breakfast loop, and we'll see what's for breakfast, day 240. Well, here is today's harvest. Cucumber, some tomatoes, and a pepper. I'll take it. It's enough for a couple days at least of food. So even though it's not a big, huge basket of food, I'm not really even after that sort of results, but it's definitely enough to feed me for a couple days. And look how beautiful those tomatoes are. This is a Bait Alpha cucumber. I really like them. They have a nice sweet flavor. This was a mystery pepper. It turned out to be a yellow banana pepper, and it was another mystery pepper that I picked up at Mark's. And so here is today's harvest. All right, breakfast brunch, day 240. Oh, let's see what we've got. I still have the leftovers. It's just the Gardein steak strips are in here, so I have to eat those tonight or they won't be good anymore. Leftover wise, I still also have the sausage crumbles, so that can wait another day or so and I'll eat that. I still have the chard that needs to be eaten within a day or two. I have this cucumber from my garden. I want to eat that, at least part of that, and do something else with the rest of it. Let's see. I have still some of the olive oil bread loaf. I'm going to have some of that. In here, I still have this cream cheese cheddar that I want to eat up. So I'm going to have that. And then I bought this the other day on sale because I really like it. It was $1 off. So I'm going to have some of that. And that's it. My grandson still has some leftovers in here. I don't know what he's got. And I still have cake from my mother, but that's gonna keep for a while. I still have little tiny pieces of onion from my garden, red onion. So, and this is more produce that I got from the garden a few days ago. I have to cook that up. So that'll be something for dinner. In my produce drawer, I still have coleslaw, peppers, carrots, celery, and lettuce. So lots of salad fixings. All right, that's what's left in my fridge. And lots of condiments, still a lot of condiments. All right, I will meet you at the stove. Okay, I have a little tiny bit of cream cheese. This is vegan. This is really good. I mean, it's expensive, but once in a while I buy it for myself because it's so tasty, especially with the roast beef seitan or deli slices. And basically, it's seitan, beef flavored seitan, if you read the ingredients. So, also in my refrigerator stash, I have this Neufchâtel cheese. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I think I got that from, yeah, it's Happy Farms from Aldi's. And actually, I bought this last Christmas. I was going to make something with it. But the expiration date on this is 9/3/22. So I'm going to have some of that too because this is not enough. So I'm going to have some of that. I imagine it's not going to be good too much longer. So I'm only going to keep half. The other half I'm going to freeze, because you can freeze cream cheese from what I hear. Then I had gotten this big thing of everything bagel at Ollie's about a month ago, maybe longer, and it was $3.79. I think it's cheaper than if you buy for $1.25. I know Dollar Tree has everything bagel too, but I think this was cheaper, or the same, because you get way more in here. So, alright, I'm just going to have some cream cheese with some of my deli slices and cucumber. And I'll be back. You don't need to watch me make a sandwich. I'll be back when I get it all put together. Okay, so another thing gone out of my refrigerator, and I actually did have enough for both sandwiches, so I didn't even open the cream cheese. That I will eat with more of my seitan here for another meal. So here it is, breakfast. Vegan cream cheese with vegan deli slices and cucumber and everything but the bagel. Alright, I'm going to eat this and enjoy it. And today, hopefully, I can drop off my dishes and get rid of that loop. I'm supposed to meet her today. And I got a notice from Flash Foods. They're always sending me something. And they actually had field roast apple sage sausages marked down from 7 something to 3 something. So I actually ordered 2 of those, so that'll be 8 sausages. And then they had the King's Hawaiian marked down from 5 something to $1.99, and my grandson likes those. So I got those, so I'll pick those up when I drop off the dishes because they're in the same vicinity. So if you have a big enough stock in your freezer and refrigerator, then you can spend very little money on new food, and you can get sale items. You know, you don't have to, oh my God, I got to run out and I got to get this and pay top price. So then you can wait and you can buy your items on sale and then have them anyway. So, alright, I'm going to have my breakfast and I'll be back a little later and we'll see what else is going on. Okay, so here is my 15-minute declutter today, bathing suits. I brought all my bathing suits back from the boat. There were only a couple there, so I'm going to keep those, but these I never wear. I never go swimming. We have a pool here, but I'm keeping a few just in case I ever decide I'm going to. But these are all the ones I'm getting rid of. So this one I have to try on, but if it's too tight, it's going to go too. So I'll try that on a little later. So those are all the things that are going to charity. Getting ready for my declutter here. So my Alexa timer just went off for 15 minutes. Alexa, stop. And these are the ones I'm keeping. So there's still plenty that I can wear. And I'll reassess these down the road and see if I'm going to keep them or not. But this is like, oh, probably a quarter of the ones that I have that are going. So that is my 15-minute declutter for today. And I'll be back with a little dinner in just a little while. I'm waiting for my pasta to cook. I still have 1 meal left out of my stew that I made 3 days ago, something like that. I ate all the carrots and all the potatoes out of it, and so now all that's left are a few mushrooms and the beef strips. Not beef strips. So I'm going to try and make like some stroganoff out of what's left with some egg noodle pasta. And I don't have sour cream, but I do have yogurt. So I'm going to use some yogurt and see how that tastes. And then that'll be the last meal out of that. So stretching 1 bag of the Gardein, I think they call them beef steak strips or whatever. Really goes a long way. If you add veggies and starch to it, like potatoes or rice or pasta, any of those things. So I've been finding that this 15-minute declutter sessions that I do, I set my Alexa to, and there she goes on, to 15 minutes. And then, anyway, I don't trust those machines, but they're kind of fun to have. I like the music features, you know, you can play music, whatever you want. So I do like that feature, but sometimes I don't know, you know, who's listening. Anyway, I digress. So, going back to my meal, no, I already passed the meal. I was on the 15-minute timer. I'm finding that what's happening is I go through the clothes or whatever it is much quicker, and I make much quicker decisions than if I have all afternoon to declutter. And I'm actually getting through a lot of things. So I'm going to continue to do that, and I might even have 2 15-minute declutter sessions if I feel like it. But for me, that's working out great. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about that, and I'll be back in a few minutes, and I'll show you my dinner. And then it'll be another thing gone out of the fridge. And I finished up 1 package of egg noodles too. So 1 thing gone out of the pantry, and 1 thing gone out of the freezer. All right, I'll be back. Okay, so I heated up my meat, and I put maybe 1.5 tablespoons of this Greek yogurt in there, and I also added some chard. So this is what I'm going to put with my pasta and make a whole new dish out of an old dish. I like to do things like this just to alleviate the boredom of always eating the same old, same old. So I like to invent something new out of something old. It's kind of like what you do with old furniture sometimes. All right, add some pasta to this, and then I made enough pasta for another meal. I'm not sure what I'll make with it, but I'm thinking maybe frittata, maybe with the chard. I don't know, maybe. All right, I'm going to give this a taste. I'm going to add a little bit of garlic salt. So in a little while, I have to go drop off the dishes, and hopefully she'll show up. I'm also going to put some more pepper in here. Give that a mix. And then I'm going to add some of my pasta. These are just egg noodles from Dollar Tree. They're from my pantry stash. Like I said, I don't want to add too much because I want to make sure I can eat this whole meal today, because I don't want to heat this up again, and I don't want to throw it away. So I think that should do it. So I have my veggies, I have my starch, and I have my protein in here. You can add whatever veggies you want. This would probably be good like with peas and carrots, spinach. You know, you can interchange spinach and chard pretty much. They have very similar taste. You could put beans in here, green beans, whatever. All right. So let me bring you a little bit closer and we'll dish this up. And then I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to eat my dinner, get ready to take those dishes up to Panera, and also pick up my sausages at Giant Eagle Flash Foods. And that looks just about right for a portion for me. So there you have it, dinner, day 240. And I'm going to sign off for now. That's all I have for you today. I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. God bless you. And I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. Thanks for watching.